Good morning, everybody. It is July 8th. It's hard to believe, and 2025, and I'd like to call the Kane County Board to order. Clerk, if you could call the roll, please.
Allen,
Present.
no. Mr. Arroyo.
Bates here.
Berman,
Berman's here.
Doherty,
Already here.
Garcia,
Garcia here.
Gripe,
Right here.
Gums,
Gums here.
Iqbal,
Iqbal present.
Juby,
Juby here.
Caius,
Caius present.
Leonard,
Leonard here.
Lewis,
Who's here?
Linder,
Linder here.
Molina,
Molina present.
Penesis,
Hannes is here.
Roth,
Up here.
Sanchez,
Sanchez present.
Strathman,
Here.
Surgis,
Present.
Tarver,
Tarver's here.
Tepe,
Zeppy here. Here.
Young, Pirog.
I'm here.
You have a quorum in the room.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, we have permission to bring in Mr. Berman and Mr. Doherty virtually, please.
Yes.
Thank you all. Before we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance that Mr. Williams and invocation is going to lead, I just would like to take a moment to recognize the tragedy that happened, bodies still being found in Texas by that wave of water that came through in the river. I heard today that right now there are 104 people who have died and many more are still missing. It's a tragedy of children who were swept away and caught in a wave of 20 feet water, surprising, over the 4th of July weekend. And for anybody through in Kane County who has family, relatives, or has history with Texas, our hearts and prayers are with all of those families, and God bless them all. So if we can just have a moment just to say a quick prayer, 30-second prayer of just reflection on all of them and wish them peace and strength in this time of very, very grave difficulty. All right, Mr. Surgis, you had your hand up for a
Yeah,
comment. about
Madam
that?
Chair, I just, as a father of 2 children that went to Baylor University, my children have friends that were on site during this tragedy. They did make it out safely. One young lady helped 12 young girls. Young lady's 27 years old, still working at the camp, helped 12 young girls make it out, but couldn't help others. And Jared, when we talk about counseling and stress and some of the memories that will stay with you, they have been at this camp for as long as they can remember. And to end with this, our hearts go out to them, and it's been blow by blow, play by play all weekend long. So
Yes, yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Mr. Iqbal.
Yeah, Madam Chair, my grandson is 14-year-old and he had a friend, another 14-year-old, and they lived in California, and this friend, Tim, and his family went to Texas. They had a second home, and their home is gone, and the mom, dad, and the son, all 3 of them are gone, missing so far. The daughter, who was attending a camp, not the Mystic camp, but another camp, she survives. She is the only one. So it's a very small world.
It's a very small world, and we are never isolated through the events that happen anywhere in the United States, and nonetheless, the entire world. We are all connected in some capacity or another, whether it's spirit, through family, or just friends. So as I mentioned before, God bless them all. So with that, please, Mr. Williams, could you lead us in the pledge, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Madam Chair,
Would you please bow your heads? Dear Lord, let us gather with open minds and hearts as we come together to serve the people of Kane County. May our discussions be guided by wisdom, compassion, and a shared commitment to the welfare of our community. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. That was very nice. Thank you very much. May I now have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of June 10th, 2025?
Madam Chair, this is Caius. I would ask for unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes from June 10th, 2025.
Thank you. Unanimous consent? Okay, we do have unanimous consent. We have my chairman's comments now, and I will be doing a very brief presentation about something I think you'll find of interest. But I would like to share with you that the first item, number A, will not be presented. The Kane County Cougars were unable to attend today. So the recognition that was supported by the Boy Scouts will be given to them separately. I'll bring over the plaque, beautiful plaque that they have made for them, as well as an American flag that was touched on all four corners of Kane County, and that will be given to them at a separate time. So we'll make sure we get that to them. Now I'd like to introduce Julie Yurko. She is with the Northern Illinois Food Bank. Julie, welcome. Julie's going to give a brief presentation and an update as a follow-up to the presentation we did for the Committee of the Whole in June regarding our seniors and the impact that the food disparity is having on them and the general food disparity that we're feeling through Kane County. So she'll give 3 or 4 minutes of comments, and then I'll go into my comments. So please, Julie, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here today. If you don't know much about Northern Illinois Food Bank, the one thing I really want you to know is that we believe in full bellies. We believe every man, woman, child, senior should have a full belly, should have the food that they need to thrive. Every month, Northern Illinois Food Bank, through our network of 900 food pantries, soup kitchens, feeding sites, we are serving on average 574,000 people across Northern Illinois. And for our fiscal year that just ended on June 30th, we provided more than 93 million meals for our neighbors. Here in Kane County, of that 93 million, 12.7 were distributed right here in Kane County, serving on average more than 72,000 people every month. We have a terrific network here across Kane County, 119 sites, 30 food pantries, 5 soup kitchens, 2 group homes, 5 senior sites, 75 backpack and kid feeding sites, an online feeding site, as well as one of our health partnerships, all right here in Kane County. You all have been so supportive of us. The chair has been so supportive of us. I'm so grateful to be here today. You probably know that you have granted us $2.5 million, a 3-year grant through your ARPA funding. And to date, we have spent 1.5 million of that, distributing 2.6 million pounds of food. That food is going to every food pantry, soup kitchen, and group home in this county. We have another year to spend the remaining million, and I promise you we will. We will buy fresh, nutritious groceries, household and personal items for the neighbors here in Kane County. The chair and I had a great conversation in June. We were talking about the impact of the new administration. That's the question I'm asked about the most. As you know, the big, beautiful bill was passed last week, and that included nearly $2 billion worth of cuts to SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as food stamps. We know at the food bank, we've seen it when the pandemic benefits were reduced, that when SNAP benefits are reduced, food pantries experience a sharp increase in demand, longer lines, more supplies needed as families turn to the emergency food system for help to make ends meet. In Illinois, there are 1.8 million individuals on SNAP. The changes in this bill are going to put an estimated 360,000 Illinoisans at risk for losing SNAP. It could also lead to job losses, reduced access to food, particularly in our retail sector, and other challenges for our local economies. It also transfers costs to the state, and the state of Illinois is anticipating that's going to be $1.2 billion added to our budget. In addition, earlier this year, there have been cuts to food and funding coming to the food bank through the USDA. On average, in any given year, about 13% of our funding comes from the federal and state government and about 24% of our food. With the recent cuts to programs like the LFPA and EFSP, that's a local food purchasing agreement, and the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, we are equating those cuts to 4.5 million meals that we're losing in this coming year. And that's, to make that up, it's about another $3 to $4 million for us. We will make up that gap. Northern Illinois Food Bank is committed to continuing to serve our communities, but our budget for this year that just launched on July 1st shows a revenue decline of about 8% or $3.3 million because of this cuts. So we have quite a gap to fill, but again, I know we will fill it. I believe very strongly in the goodness of others and in the strengths of communities. I've seen it in my 16 years at the food bank. And I want to thank all of you again, because you are a part of that system. You make all of the difference to us. Please continue to support us. Please continue to love on your communities. And if you ever have a chance, please come volunteer with us.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you very much. Great presentation. So when we had the meeting of the Committee of the Whole in June, our focus was on, Julie, you can sit down, thank you. Our focus was on seniors. Our focus was on our senior citizens, but we spoke briefly about our youth and the dwindling population of our youth here in Kane County, and that is the birth to 20-year-old group. There's a lot of reasons why that population is dwindling, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But what I'd like to talk to you about today are the young adults who are ready to launch their careers, the 20-somethings who are ready to take the world by the hand and just lead it and engage with it. And I'd like to talk about how we can take those hands and engage with them here in Kane County by developing an internship program. It's a challenge that affects our community's future, the loss of our college-age students to other states. As many of you know, over the past few years, we have seen a growing trend of young adults leaving our state in search of better jobs, education, and opportunities elsewhere. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, from 2001 to 2005, the population of residents under 25 was reduced by 10%. In Kane County, that decrease was 8%. So it's the smallest part of our population, about 20%, and we're already losing up to 8% who are leaving for other opportunities in other states. That happened to my son. I'm sure that may have happened to sons and daughters within your families as well. This significant decline highlights a persistent issue. We are losing our young talent at a time when they're almost ready to contribute and grow. This brain drain impacts our local economy and community vitality. Our graduates are talented and ambitious, but often feel they must leave to find meaningful opportunities elsewhere. This cycle leads to fewer residents filling local jobs, less economic activity, and reduced investment in our community. Now, a goal of the Jobs Committee is an investment in our youth. To support this goal for Kane County, I'd like to develop a robust internship program. And I laugh at the word, giggle at myself when I say robust, because I think Kane County right now should have a moderate and appropriate internship program, because we need to start small and then be able to move ambitiously to a really engaged internship program. This providing high quality internships directly connects students with the operations of Kane County. These programs act as a bridge, allowing young people to gain real world experience, develop professional networks, and see the possibilities right here at home. Now, this is already being done very well at the State's Attorney's Office. I was introduced to some wonderful internships earlier this year. We are doing it kind of happenstance here in our offices. Julie Mann has been working with an intern. We've got an internship that is happening at the finance department. We know that our auditor has done an incredible program developing her own internship program. But with Kane County government, but we are in charge of our departments. it has been few and not really structured to the way we possibly could make it organized. A strong internship initiative can encourage students to stay here in Kane County after graduation, knowing they have their opportunities to grow their careers locally. Now, how do we fund this initiative? Now, this is going to have to be discussed, obviously, with the Jobs Committee and, of course, Human Services to bring it to your consideration. There is discussion about the Illinois grocery tax. Now, we have seen data that was presented to us from Kathleen Hopkinson that shows that this tax, this 1% sales tax, we know is going to be retired in January unless this board decides to move forward to it. I understand there's a complexity and a difficulty in encouraging any kind of tax, but this is a continuation of an existing very modest tax. This tax currently generates approximately $60,000 annually for Kane County. And importantly, these funds by the state are designated for local government projects and community development efforts. I can't see anything better than to work with our youth to engage them with paid internships here in Kane County. Allocating a portion of this revenue towards a youth internship program is a strategic investment, supporting our young talent, boosting economic growth, and keeping Kane County competitive and attractive to emerging professionals. By investing in our youth this way, we can create a vibrant, dynamic community where the youth can see their future and we don't have to lose them to other states. Supporting local colleges, universities, fostering innovation, and building a strong internship infrastructure will enable Kane County to retain its brightest minds and attract new talent. Our goal is very clear. Inspire our youth to envision their future here, contribute to our community growth, and build a thriving local economy. When youth succeed, we all will benefit. So I'm going to be asking the Jobs Committee and Human Services Committee to consider this option and then bring it forward to you when they've been able to invest their time and their energy in developing what they feel would be an appropriate program to bring to you, along with the potential funding stream to support that so that they're truly paid internships rather than simply volunteer. So I will turn that over to them. And as we look at taking care of our seniors, we also have to remember that it is our youth who are going to be the next in line, and we want to encourage them to fully participate in Kane County's government. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak on this.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if it's appropriate right now, but I would like 2 minutes to acknowledge the Aurora Fire Department's work over this holiday week.
Absolutely, you have time.
Thank you very much. In Aurora, just so you're aware, we had approximately 5 structure fires. Our Aurora Fire Department and all of the teams associated with them worked very hard. This is why we do not like fireworks, because some of those fireworks started those fires. And we did have one individual perish in my district in an apartment fire. So I just want to acknowledge the hard work that the fire department does. And that's a lot of fires to have over one weekend. And I just want to recognize them and appreciate their efforts.
Our first responders are always should be recognized, and there's going to be some recognition for them today during public comment as well. So thank you for that, Michelle. So with no other comments, we will now move to public comment. Speaker today is, before we begin, let me make sure that I say that please, everyone has 3 minutes to speak. At the end of 3 minutes, your mic will ask you to step down. If you continue, your mic will be turned off. So try to be respectful for the time. I know people get passionate about what they say, and I can appreciate that. Nothing disruptive to the work of the board, please. Most of your public comment is very insightful and wonderful, and we're looking forward to hearing it. So our first speaker is Jordan, let me see your name correctly, Luchtman.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jordan. In the light of current political environment, I'm hearing a lot of,
Could you get a little bit closer to your microphone so we can hear you?
yes.
Much
Hi.
better, thank
Is
you.
that better? Okay. In light of the current political environment, I'm hearing a lot of blame being thrown around, particularly the false claim that Democrats are solely responsible for the current budget shortfall in King County, and that upcoming cuts to services like transportation and road maintenance are the fault of this board and chair. I would like to correct the facts. This budget crisis didn't appear overnight. It's been years in making, going back to 2017, when their then chair, Chris Lawson, a Republican-controlled board, made a deliberate decision not to increase revenue. There were no adjustments for inflation via the Consumer Price Index, no increases in property taxes, and no other meaningful revenue growth in over a decade. Meanwhile, inflation has affected us all. You felt it in your homes, in your bills, and so has the county. But unlike households, the county faces mandated expenses that cannot avoid or cut, and yet it's being forced to do so with and yet it's being forced to do more with less for a while now. After COVID, labor shortages raised salaries across the board. The county had to follow suit just to keep critical staff. And under Lawson's leadership, this basic upkeep of property, buildings, and infrastructure was ignored. That may have saved money in the short term, yes, but now we're starting to pay the price. As any homeowner knows, deferred maintenance costs cost more later. So let's be clear, these cuts to transportation, infrastructure, and potentially even public safety are not the result of the actions taken by this board or chair in recent years. They are the direct results of fiscal negligence and ideological refusal to raise revenue prior to the Republican leadership. By the prior Republican leadership. And now the same people who helped create this crisis are loudly opposing solutions like the sales tax referendum, a creative, broad-based way to address the shortfalls and maintain services without putting the full burden on property owners. I can tell you from firsthand real quickly, I was a Texas resident for 17 years. I have seen people love to talk about the taxes in Texas and how much better they are. I've seen firsthand how the lack of funding for infrastructure, public education, the roads, it does take a toll on the people, and it does end up costing everybody a lot more in the long run. But coming up here, I cried over how awesome the public schools were, how great the public roads were.
Time is
Please
up,
keep,
ma'am.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Our next speaker is John Bryan.
Good morning. Morning, Madam Speaker and the board. Thanks for this opportunity. First, I want to thank you, Madam Chair, for defending all your constituents when it comes to what is happening in Chicago and Cook County. I want to take over the RTA and with the proposed Illinois Transit Authority and to eliminate our voices and unnecessarily tax us. So I'm very, very appreciative of that. But on the other hand, I'm very disappointed in the reallocation of $7 million of the RTA tax. We understand that the RTA tax can be used for either transportation or public safety. And your predecessor, Chris Lawson, who was just mentioned, also said that be wary that the next board is going to come after those funds, and that's exactly what's happening. $7 million, I understand it's a shell game. You're going to take money from this pile and move it into the general revenue account, and then take that RTA tax and appropriate $7 million and call it public safety. Well, what do we need more than safe roads, safe transportation, getting people to and from? I've never understood why government jobs of AFSCME and SEIU are so protected. Everyone I listen to, we got to protect those jobs. We got to protect those jobs. What about the jobs of the construction people? What about the person who wants to get to a soccer practice to watch his kid, but is stuck in traffic because you're not putting any money into the transportation system? You're robbing it for services. I just don't understand why why we cannot eliminate jobs. I used to be a business owner, and when we came under hard times, I laid people off. That's just unfortunately what happens. It's a terrible thing to have to do, but when you're under hard times, that's the actions you have to take. It's a proven economic factor that $1 spent in construction will turn over 4 to 8 times. You pay the construction worker, he go gets his haircut, the haircut stylist goes to the grocery store, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you keep taking that money away, you are eliminating anywhere from 28 million to upwards of $50 million, maybe even more that would be spent in the community. And I just think that it's, you know, my teacher at rhetoric at Marmion, Father Peter, sorry, Father, I'm going to violate Rule 19A. Do not use trite expressions. This county doesn't have a revenue problem. It has a spending problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All righty. Our next speaker is going to be John Remitz. John? John, pull the microphone down closer to your mouth. There you go. Very good. Hi.
Well, thank you for coming to Kane County. I've been in a choice one, and I did lots of golfing, swimming, and I'm here in 7 years now. And like it's not his features. And we only from Kane County. I'm in state of Illinois, and we're protecting others for groups in budget and tax fund, loan, and cost of budget. And we have some else like old people, and I'm saying horsemen. And I mean, I'm here today, and I'm not thank you, and doing this, and God bless America and trust America, and we are joining thank you the office from Kane County.
As you know, John came up and is very brave for speaking to us all. And I'd like to thank John Frank for allowing and encouraging, not allowing, but encouraging him to have a voice at this table. John is a member of a community that we have well supported. And we all have different abilities. And I would say his ability today is great courage in speaking to 25 people who sometimes are a little critical, but I think this time he did. We all left with a very warm heart for his presentation and his encouragement for all of us to be able to speak up for ourselves and for the people that we represent and love. So with that, I'd like to just take a moment, your liberty, to have a photograph. His mother is here and wants to share in this pride. And if John can join in the photograph, that would be much appreciated. Julie Mann is going to take the photo. What is it? Mom, come on up, come on up, come on up. Come on.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead. You know what? It's- Thank you. This whole conversation started because John Frank was walking his dog and met neighbors, and one thing led to another, and this happened. Wonderful things happen when you have a dog and, and you go for a walk.
Just real quickly, so the Rimmons family has been a family friend and a neighbor for years now. And even before we moved up here, Roxy, John's mother, is good friends with my brother's mother-in-law. And so we've known them for a long time, and John will routinely ask me about politics and what's going on with the county board and all that stuff. And I'll tell him what's going on and he gets excited. And so when we were talking this weekend, I asked him if he would want to come to the county board meeting. He's like, absolutely. And so then I couldn't help myself. I said, would you like to speak? And he was like, absolutely. Because I've seen him give speeches before, and he really is passionate about the Special Olympics. So that's really what he was wanting to come and advocate to continue to support by the county board. So.
Okay, thank you. And thank you. And thank you both for coming. And John, you are welcome to come back whenever you want. Okay. We'd love to have you. And we'd like to get your opinion on what's going on in Kane County from your eyes. Okay. It's really important for us. So thank you again. So our next speaker is going to be Sue Deicher, Deuchler, Doechler. Deutsch. There we go. Thank you.
But I do have something.
Okay. All right. If you can give it, Julie, are you there?
Madam Chair and Board, my name is Sue Deutschler, and I'm speaking before you today as a resident of Kane County for 46 years, as well as a deputy with the Kane County Sheriff's Office for over 17 years. On March 7th, 2019, my fellow Police Academy classmate, Jacob Keltner with the McHenry County Sheriff's Office, was killed in the line of duty. When looking for ways to cope and understand this tragedy, I was introduced to Illinois Concerns of Police Survivors, better known as COPS. Illinois Concerns of Police Survivors is a 501c3 nonprofit organization which provides resources to assist in the rebuilding of lives of surviving families of law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty. Illinois COPS provides emotional and financial support as well as legal assistance to survivors of fallen officers. Each year, between 140 and 160 officers are killed in the line of duty, and their families and coworkers are left to cope with this tragic loss. COPS provides resources to help them rebuild their shattered lives. There is no membership fee to join COPS, for the price paid is already too high. My healing continued when I was chosen throughout the state with other officers to be a liaison for our critical incident memorial team. Our team responds after line of duty deaths to support the surviving family members. We offer support as long as needed to all survivors, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Support is just a phone call away. I've had the privilege to escort families in Washington, D.C. to the memorial and become friends with the widow and surviving children of fallen Aurora Officer Brian Shields since his end of watch, January 11th, 2022. Illinois COPS is dependent on charitable donations and fundraisers, and all donations are tax deductible. And how do these donations benefit families? We help each family financially by helping them pay for transportation, lodging to both the State Police Memorial Wall and the National Memorial in DC. In addition to donations, they're used for families to attend survivor conferences where they learn how to rebuild their shattered life. Today, I'm not asking for any donations, but I come before you with a proclamation in support of Illinois Concerns of Police Survivors. You're probably wondering how we raise donations to support people like myself and others. So each year we hold a fundraiser throughout the state, but our largest fundraiser is called Cycle Across Illinois, where officers and family members of the fallen bicycle from downstate Illinois near St. Louis up to Chicago. This year is our 21st year. We head downstate tomorrow and we will travel across Illinois bicycling 370 miles. We start Thursday, and we are grateful for families, police, fire departments, and communities along our route. This year, we will honor 9 officers and 3 canines from Illinois. This year, I want to invite the county board and citizens of Kane County to see what we're about on our journey as we make a stop at the Kane County Sheriff's Office on Sunday, July 13th, and cycle into the grounds at 9:50 a.m. This year's ride, we are blessed to be using the entire stretch of Route 38 from DeKalb to Naperville Road. In those,
Ma'am, your time is up, so if you can bring it, it's
Yes.
fascinating. It's wonderful.
our journey can be followed on the Cycle Across Illinois official Facebook page, and any media or questions can be addressed to me. So
And if you can share that information with Julie Mann, I'm sure that she'll be able to put it into Kane County Connect so we can broadcast it.
absolutely.
Oh.
So the two items are the challenge coins from last year and this year. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. All of you bicyclists on the board, you may want to bring your bike over there and join them in the ride for a little bit. All right. Our next speaker is Dr. Susan Sokolinski. I hope I got it close.
Had a good elementary teacher. Morning, and thank you to each one of you serving on the board. My name is Dr. Susan Sokolinski. I have been a member of this wonderful county, a citizen living here since 1986, and I'm a proud retired public educator, 26 years in Batavia. I come here today to ask the board to take action to protect the safety and well-being of every person living, working, and visiting in Kane County. I'd like to share a personal story with you in an effort to illustrate the importance of working toward the creation of an inclusive county in which every person feels safe and welcomed. Recently, my family and I were discussing plans to take a vacation together, which we're going to do for the first time. Our older daughter commented that we would have to make sure that we were planning a trip, to a place where her and her children and her partner would be safe. My daughter's a member of the LGBTQ plus community. And I'm not sad about that. I'm sad about the situation. It was soul crushing to hear my daughter express concern for her safety and the safety of her children, my grandchildren, and her partner. No one should feel unsafe or unwelcome in this country, this state, this county, or in their local communities. And I know many people do right now. When threatening actions are made against a member of a community, especially a member of an already marginalized community, that threat is wide-reaching to family members and friends. As elected board members, I ask you, please, to do the job you were elected to do and to serve each and every member of the Kane County community without prejudice or bias. As elected board members, your words and your actions should reflect support of all people living, working, and visiting in our beautiful county. Whether you're acting and speaking within your board member duties or in your personal lives. During my 26 years as a public educator, I was always very cognizant of my words and my actions, whether I was out in public, especially when I was out in public, as well as in my personal life. And I'm asking you all to do the same. As elected officials, your words are powerful. So I thank you. I apologize for my emotions getting a little bit out of control, but I thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Daniel Donahue.
Hi, my name is Dan Donahue. My wife and I moved to Kane County in 1996. My grandparents on my mother's side were children of German immigrants. My grandfather fought in the trenches for America in World War I. Two of his sons fought in World War II, and one son fought in Korea. My dad served in the Navy during World War II, where he received the Purple Heart. He struggled with his injuries for 23 years before receiving 100% disability. Once he got his benefits, he couldn't handle the demands of raising 5 kids, and he left us. Are we the enemy? My mom worked the night shift and raised us by herself. We often survived on surplus government food, hand-me-downs, and assistance from community and neighbors. We all participated in a government-funded education program in Notre Dame called Upward Bound. All 5 children completed college with master's degrees. I have 4 children. My oldest daughter teaches at Yorkville High School. My youngest daughter is working full-time and going to school full-time at Waubonsie. My oldest son is close to graduating with a computer science degree and is trying to save money to return to school to finish. My youngest son recently was awarded his Eagle Scout Award and is also working and going to school. I ran a small business for 23 years. I coached Lego Robotics, Batavia Youth Baseball, and am the past president of the Geneva Rotary Club. For the last 14 years, I've been a special education teacher and math interventionist working with children and students with disabilities. If our political beliefs align with the Democratic or progressive parties, are we evil? If we have brown-skinned friends and family members, should we live in fear? If we have strong ties with the LGBT community, are we at risk of being turned in by our friends, family, neighbors, or community leaders? Are we the enemy? Should men in mass without ID and a warrant abduct us and throw us in concentration camp? Do we have constitutional rights anymore? 10 men have more money than 4 billion people. Poor and working class families are not the problem. How do our resumes compare with Trump's resume? 64 times mentioned in the Epstein report, 97 times pleaded the fifth, 34 felony convictions, 26 sexual assault convictions, 6 bankruptcies, 5 draft deferments, 93 million sexual abuse judgments, 400+ million fraud judgment, 4 indictments, 2 impeachments. Who is the enemy? Am I the enemy? Am my wife and kids the enemy? When this regime comes to our state, to our county, to our neighborhoods, will you follow the orders like they did in Nazi Germany? Will you turn in your neighbors, friends, and family members? Will you choose to unalive us? What side of history do you stand on? Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jennifer Jordan. Are you here? Our next speaker is Brian Anderson.
Good morning, Brian Anderson, Sugar Grove. I'm here this morning. I'm going to bounce all over the place, but primarily here for Resolution 25259. It's at the entire end of the packet. It's a long day for the board. There's a lot on the table. That should have been one of the first things discussed when people are fresh and the audience is still here. But I digress for a minute. It's been 98 days since April 1st, and I still don't see any real traction in what we're doing as far as balancing this budget. I came to the last county board meeting and I said what I'm going to say again, that leadership starts in this room. You're asking every single department to make budget cuts, which is certainly prudent. I'm asking this board, and I'm looking for somebody to lead the charge and go, I think we should amend our pay increase that takes place in 2026. It's a gesture. It saves the county $120,000, but it's a gesture and one in good faith. Balance the budget, give yourself a pay raise. It should have never been brought to the table. And speaking of compensation, it is not sinking in as of yet. We've talked about taxes today. Well, we could do this tax for the internship. It's just a grocery tax. We could talk about other taxes. Now, this is fresh off the board. Illinois, $23.4 billion in school district debt contributes to the nation's highest property taxes. This is a top 20 list. And in Kane County, 3 of our school districts, 300 U46 and 131, unfortunately, made that list. Throwing money does not equate in success. But back to compensation. Recently, We gave I believe, the Executive Director of Development, Mark Kirkhoff, a pay increase. Should have never happened. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your job to scrutinize. There is pay freezes and there are pay cuts in the real working world. I need to see some results. You're not doing anything different. And 98 days ago, the overwhelming majority of the voters, over 71,000, came out, highest consolidated election turnout in 25 years in Kane County, said enough is enough. Now back to the RTA tax. Based on the little knowledge I have, as the one gentleman said, we should not be playing a shell game. You should not be taking that money and putting it over under the ruse of public safety. You're going to have to find other ways to balance the budget.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Imar? Jeannie, there she comes.
Good morning. It's not debatable that Illinois is either the first or second highest tax state in the country. So to hear the kind of noble idea of bringing in their interns to keep them here is very ironic. The reason people are leaving Illinois is the wealthy people that own businesses that would provide these jobs are leaving this state. If you ask them why, it's 99% the reason is the taxes. So Madam Chair, I can't believe she said this, wants to continue a tax. You're missing the point. They're leaving here because of the high taxes. It's so clear. Why would you keep a tax that is going to add to more people leaving? Anyway, that's a side issue. I'm here because today I reviewed today's agenda. It includes mortgage paperwork, contract renewals, highway cleanup. I kept looking through it. I saw nothing addressing Kane County's $30 million budget shortfall. We're now in July. Time is running out. Yet this board has taken no visible action to bring our budget into balance. Where's the urgency? Where's the accountability? Madam Chair, you are the leader of this board. Leadership means setting priorities. Leadership means hard decisions, putting the financial health of this county ahead of political convenience. But from what I've seen, there's been no hiring freeze, no mandate to review the 135 plus COVID era hires who are still on the payroll, no push for departmental cuts, and no public strategy to fix this. The board has known about this $30 million gap for many months and should have seen it coming for the last few years. A subcommittee was formed. Nothing concrete has come out of it. There is no transparency, no sense of urgency. There's nothing on today's agenda addressing our shortfall. Not a single plan or solution. This is unacceptable. Leadership requires action. Madam Chair, this falls primarily on your shoulders. You lead this board, and so far we see no direction. Taxpayers deserve better. I urge this board, and especially you, Madam Chair, to stop sidestepping this issue. Direct your staff to bring forward a clear, balanced budget proposal at the next board meeting. And if that means cutting non-essential spending, freezing hiring, or finally moving to a zero-based budgeting, then so be it. It's time for you to lead.
Our final speaker of the day is going to be Denise Thibault. Denise? She's pretty good.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Denise. I live in Kane County. First of all, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everyone who voted and spoke at the last board meeting in support of the LGBTQ community. Your voices matter, especially now. I came here planning to speak about county business, but after hearing some lies and denouncements of the Pride Proclamation by some board members, I felt compelled to respond. However, David Young is not here. I wanted to talk about some of the lies that he brought up and denouncements of the transgender community, which is dangerous and harmful to our community. And bringing up a man, Donald Trump, who is a sexual assaulter, but saying that it's a handful of trans kids competing in sports that are the ones mauling our children and girls in sports. That is so disingenuous and dangerous. And honestly, Donald Trump, Dan mentioned Donald Trump's sexual assaults, bragging that he can grab women by the genitals, his own words. But I'm not going to harp on this. I want to talk about responding to the fact that this government has a tendency, not the Kane County Board government, but in general, when you're spreading lies like about the transgender community, you're othering people, and you're othering people when you say that the richest country in the world can't pay for food assistance, for healthcare for all, that we as a people can't come together with love in our heart and support the marginalized communities, the disabled, people who need food assistance. That's where our money should go. It shouldn't go to the top 10 billionaires or the grifter in chief who is selling Bibles to feed his $billion coffer. And what's going to happen when the terrorizing of the streets from ICE, with a $30 million budget for more armed, masked people to go to our streets, what's going to happen when they come to the streets here? What is this county going to do? And once our hardworking immigrants and citizens that are also being detained without due process, what's going to happen when they come for us? You talk about taxes, you talk about high taxes, and it's the very people that can pay those high taxes in this room and in their propaganda campaign to hurt the rest of the community. Let's work together. Let's lift each other up. Let's love each other. Let's come together as a community.
Okay. Thank you, Denise.
It's better for all of us.
Thank you. I'm going to put a pause for just a second. We may have had a speaker who signed up, and I just want to get confirmation to allow that individual to speak.
Madam Chair comes.
Just a second. Ladies, gentlemen, Michelle Bedtag has brought to my attention that apparently she signed up but never got confirmation. So if I may have your liberty, let's bring her up and let her speak. And that'll conclude then our public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Michelle Bettag, St. Charles, Illinois. I've been coming to the board for about 3 years. As you know, we have been watching the board perform duties that we are grateful for. We do live in an amazing county, and I do like the way that we live. Don't get me wrong. And a lot of people feel fine about spending their fair share. Out of 3,300 counties almost in the country, we are number 28 as far as taxed to death. On July 1st, we have a new list of 11 items that are coming into effect for more taxes. The people that some people comment, the marginally, the minority, the people that are disabled, these taxes affect these people most direct. And I think that most people have compassion. I would say most people that I know have compassion for those groups of people. We want them to eat. We want them to do well in life. When Madam Chair is talking about the youth staying here in Kane County, I have 5 children. I'm encouraging my children not to stay here in Kane County or Illinois for that fact, because the cost of living is astronomical and unfair. Everyone knows in this country that Illinois is the laughing stock of the country from the top down, including Kane County. Now, people that pop in here into this meeting and say, what an amazing job, and under Chris Lausen, this has been happening, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about what political party anybody's here. We do not have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. My taxes have increased every single year since I've lived in St. Charles for 27 years. If you look at the value of your home, it's gone up. Therefore, the county receives more taxes, and on, not to mention the tax increases that we have experienced in the last couple of years. And based on what our shortfall of nearly $30 million, we will be seeing more tax increases coming this way. I think people have had enough. People are tired of opening their wallets. Inflation has happened, yes, but I've come here month after month and watched a $900,000 plan for a government center spent that never went anywhere, 50 million for a climate action plan that never went anywhere, God willing, and on, spending with no end in sight. It is a spending problem that we have here in Kane County. Number one, the responsible bidder ordinance needs to be revised. We are spending 1/3 more in expenses for every single project that we do. We're taking away from Kane County families who we could be hiring here, when most of these businesses and these transactions are going outside of the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. All right, that does conclude our public comment, and motion to put these public comment on to I'm sorry.
Madam Chair Gums,
Thank you, Ms. Gums. There's so many voices.
I'll ask for unanimous consent to place the public comments on the record.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Listening to the diversity of what everybody has to say here in Kane County is welcomed. And to be able to just move forward into the business, it's like having a good invocation. It just gives you pause. It gives me pause to reflect and to think about all the voices that have been heard today. So I want to thank again all of you for coming, and we respect all of your opinions. And I want you to recognize that. So may I have wondering, we're going on to consent agenda now. Would anybody like to remove an item from the consent agenda? To my left here, nobody online has their hand raised. To the right, yes, ma'am.
Madam Chairman, resolution.
Miss Allen, could you get closer to your mic,
Oh,
please?
sorry.
Absolutely.
This is Alan asking to remove from the consent agenda resolution 25-226, authorizing the Grand Victoria Riverboat funding. I promise to be brief.
Is there anybody else? Okay, may I have a motion and a second then to approve the consent agenda? Oh, yes, Mr. Sturgis.
Just so I can vote appropriately, removal of 25-228.
All right, once again, anybody else? Nobody online? All right, may I please have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
Alan moves.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bates seconds.
Okay, roll call, please.
Allen,
Alan, aye.
Arroyo,
Oh, yes.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman, Doherty,
Oh, yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe, Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Paul, yes.
Juby,
Shubi, aye.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Hennessis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Sturgis,
Just yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Tippy, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
passes.
Okay, very good. All right, so.
yes.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Berman. Welcome back. So we are now going to go, just so everybody knows, we're going to into executive session.
Madam Chair, Gums.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Oh, never mind. Disregard.
We're going into executive session and then we're going out to our zoning petitions and then we'll bring back those two resolutions that were pulled off consent. So you know the workflow. So who's going to lead us into executive session?
It's
moves that we go
into Discussing.
executive
session. Could you,
Discussing.
Or.
Point of order.
yes, that's what I'm asking. It's on the script. All right, I'll just read it then. I don't know, John, if you had assigned it to somebody.
I did not, but it would be for the release of closed session minutes as well as pending probable imminent litigation and or settlement of claims.
All right, we have a motion to go into closed session.
I
Led
second.
By Ms. Bates, second by Mr.
Caius.
Caius. Roll call, please.
Allen,
Aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Oh, yes.
Doherty, Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Gripe, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Yes.
Juby,
Shubi, aye.
Caius,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Yes.
Molina, Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Sturgis,
Yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Tippy, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
approved.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close session. I'll ask the members of the audience to all leave. Make sure you take all of your belongings with you.
All right, everybody online that is joining us in the closed session, please accept the invites. As a reminder to those in the room that are also with us digitally, you must also join before we can begin the session. Be aware we are live streaming, so I will let you know when we are all together again in the closed session.
You
Accept those invites, please.
beat all of them.
Yeah, right.
John, there is a bag that's there and some papers. Okay.
I'll take it. Daddy. Like I always do.
Are these from?
I don't know who they're from.
Alex
Sitting
brings
over
them
there.
back from Europe.
Was it Alex? Okay.
George,
Alex, these are yours?
Yeah.
where are they from?
I have one individual in the room that has not accepted their invite.
We got it. Unless anybody.
He's been down here. We can pass it down though.
Yeah.
That's never.
I have a person that is making hand gestures instead of accepting his invite.
Would that be?
Yeah.
Is there anybody hearing my voice online that feels they should be in the closed session?
Big girl.
He did a great job.
I want to introduce myself because I work with Special Olympics.
For him.
Represented a large.
I will turn the mics off while we are in this brief break. So anybody online, if you need anything, use the chat feature to track us down.
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah.
Can you make it back out by yourself?
Yeah.
Did you poop again?
Something's going on.
Huh?
Something's going on.
That's good.
I don't know.
Is your meeting over?
No, I'm just taking a 10-minute.
Do you have enough of those hay dudes?
Yeah.
Can you get those out?
Oh, yeah. What the hell is?
Berman, your microphone isn't muted, sir.
All righty, we are back into open session. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Allen,
Present.
Arroyo, Bates,
Here.
Berman, Doherty,
Here.
Garcia,
Garcia here.
Gripe,
Right here.
Gums,
Comes here.
Iqbal, Juby,
Should be here.
Caius,
Vice President.
Leonard,
Here.
Lewis,
Who's here?
Linder,
Here.
Molina,
Hennis is here.
Roth here.
Sanchez,
Sanchez present.
Strathman,
Present.
Tarver,
Tarver's here.
Tepe, Williams,
Here.
Pura, Form in the room.
All right, very good. Welcome back, everybody. So back to our work at hand. May I have a,
That's a big thing.
motion and a second to release of closed session minutes?
Madam Chair Gums. I would move to approve the release of closed session minutes as presented in Exhibit A.
With no further discussion on that, clerk, call the roll.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Arroyo, Bates,
Yes.
Berman, Doherty,
Yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, aye.
Gripe,
Right, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
I.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Hennis is yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Stratman, Surgis, Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Tempe, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
All right, it passes. May I have a motion and a second to vote on a settlement approval for case number 2025 MR140?
Bates moves.
So second.
No.
No, no.
This is the one we weren't supposed to.
Would you, Ms. Bates, would you like to remove?
I
that vote?
removed my motion.
Thank you. And who's
forgot.
second?
I'll remove two.
I
Thank you.
forgot.
Thank you. The motion has been
Sorry,
removed as well as the second.
Say.
Hearing,
Sorry.
right, no other motion and discussion on this, the motion fails. Okay. All right, we are now, let me get my agenda.
It's on. So I gotta get my hair cut. Sort of listen to it on the way.
I believe that we are now on to our zoning petitions, and I'll turn this over to Mr. Williams.
What is that?
First matter for your consideration is zoning petition number TMP 25 691, petition number 4659. The petitioner is John Townsend. He is represented by Kate McCracken, who I see in the audience. The property is located at the southeast corner of the intersection of Route 31 and Silver Glen Roads. The proposed action is to rezone the property from F District Farming to E1 District Estate Residential with a 4-foot 7-inch lot width variance. The 2040 plan designates this property as rural residential. There are no objectors to the project. The Regional Planning Commission did not address this matter. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval with the following stipulations. Number one, all new buildings are to be located outside the floodplain and must follow the building protection standards in the Kane County Stormwater Ordinance. Number two, an existing accessory structure is located in the floodplain. The structure predates the first flood insurance rate maps for the county. Water Resources will require a stormwater permit to retrofit this building to meet the building protection standards in the Kane County Stormwater Ordinance. And three, any future structure shall be built exterior to the ultimate 75-foot half right-of-way as measured from the Illinois Route 31 center line and the 35-foot building setback. I would make a motion for approval.
What make the motion?
Gums will second.
Ms. Gums,
Moved by
second.
Roth,
Mr.
second
Roth.
by Gums. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Ms. McCracken, do you need to say anything to the board? I think we're ready for a vote.
Okay, and it is a beautiful bit of property. It's lovely. So with no further questions, clerk, call the roll.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Doherty,
Aye.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Right, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
I.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Hennessis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surges, Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Steffi, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
passes.
Very good. Next one, please.
Thank you. The next matter for your consideration is zoning petition number TMP 25 714. Petition number 4660. The petitioner is KCB Farms LLC. The property is located at 10N831 Route 47 in Plato Township. The proposed action is to rezone the property from the F District Farming to the F1 District Rural Residential. The 2040 plan designates this property as agricultural. There were no objectors. The Zoning Board of Appeals recommended approval with the following stipulation. One, for any development in the future as defined by the Kane County Stormwater Management Ordinance on the resulting F1 and F parcels that singular results in a greater than 5,000 square foot of new impervious area or cumulatively as of January 1st, 2002, results in greater than 25,000 square feet of new impervious area or 3 acres of disturbance. Stormwater management measures as required by the Kane County Stormwater Ordinance shall be provided. The Development Committee recommended approval with those stipulations. I'd entertain a motion for approval.
Combs will move.
Thank you, Ms. Combs. Second,
This
please.
is second.
Thank you. I have a quick question. How many homes are looking to be developed on this?
So this is simply parceling off an existing farmstead on a 5-acre parcel so that it could be sold separately from the farm in the future, is my understanding. So just one home.
Just one home. Thank you. Thank you. Are there any questions on this? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Arroyo, Bates,
Yes.
Doherty,
Doherty,
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Gripe, yes.
Gums,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Paul, yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Hennessis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surges, Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepe,
Steffi, yes.
Williams,
Yes.
passes.
Okay, very good. That concludes our zoning petitions. The next, let's go back into our off consent. And the first one, may I have a motion and a second to discuss and potentially approve item number 25-226?
Allen moves.
The moves, second, please.
Caius,
Mr. Caius. Ms. Allen, you brought this forward?
It did. This is money that comes from the casino in Elgin. So I think all of us Elginites have a particular feeling of trust about it. And I just wanted to remind everyone that this money comes to us under an agreement that says we will try and support projects that bolster the environment, education, and economic environment in Kane County. And also in that agreement, there are some admonitions, particularly about funding operations, because the problem always is that if you fund someone's operations this year, they may come back next year. And as much as you may want to support their goals, their missions, there may not be money to do that. So it's not wise to set up that situation in the first place. The other thing I wanted to do was just ask all of you to take a look at the petitions that the grants that have been approved this year, because they are all under those 3 auspices, and they are all basically capital improvements that will support the programs and the community for years to come. So thanks for listening, and I just ask you to keep that in mind in the future as we go forward.
Yes, Mr. Tarver.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just, listened to the executive committee meeting last week, and I was pleased to hear some of the conversation that took place regarding this. And I've been trying to wrap my head around this process of this committee probably for like the last year. And I welcome the opportunity to bring this up for discussion, how this was originally passed and how we might be able to improve or change or at least increase the transparency of how the process works. How organizations can benefit from this riverboat grant, I think would be important. And I'd like to be able to better understand how advocacy can work within our own districts, funding specifically, and how certain organizations might not benefit and some do. I've reached out to Mr. Dahl already, and he's already provided me with some information. But I just want to share, I welcome the opportunity to better understand that process and how we as a board can advocate for those organizations receiving these in our own communities and districts. Thank you.
Yes, Ms.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Bringing up the riverboat funding for external projects for 2025 makes me want to remind us that 2026 is right around the next corner, and that there may be discussion in the future of if some of these external projects, some of that money will need to be redirected towards more internal needs. So it could happen. Thank you.
Very. No further comments on this. And after a very brief discussion with Anita Lewis, I'll throw another suggestion. They're going forward in the future, perhaps via economic development. The internship program may be considered to be funded out of these monies rather than a grocery tax. The proposed internship program could possibly be used for that, but that is decided on a future date by the Riverboat Committee and further discussion upon the board. So there are other funding opportunities with this to align with basically what Mr. Tarver said. Yes.
I did discuss this at executive, and I don't know if anybody can answer this question, but along the lines of the advocacy. So throughout the process, whoever is, you're voting on that. I really want to drill down on that. How do we advocate for our districts? Because each of us have districts that have a project. And so I would ask the Riverboat Committee to maybe first notify us if there's something in our district that's on your table. And then maybe we could have a different kind of introduction. Like how can we introduce those projects to the committee?
Okay, very good.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
yes.
I'm part of the committee, but it's the first year, and I do agree with Mr. Trevor. I didn't know and I didn't hear, and I go out in the community and I know, and there's some nonprofit organizations that were not aware, or some of them they did it in the past, but something changes. New people came in and they were not aware. So I agree that we should be communicating it, so that way we all can participate and everybody can benefit from this grant. Well, it's not grant, but from this
fund. Okay, very good. All right, I think that's, yes, Mr.
One more,
Klaus.
I just want to correct maybe the misconception that the Riverboat Committee decides which ones will accept the money and which ones won't. And I think I encourage all of this, all the input, and everyone that has mentioned this, Mr. Carver, I talked to him a bit and sent him information to, by all means, get as much input as you can, because this is the decision right now. You're okaying what the committee put forward and went through the executive committee, because it is a subcommittee of the executive committee. So
Correct.
by all means, stay aware. And if I'm chairman again next year, I believe we have one more year, I would encourage input from, and I hope to get output to individuals so that they know, board members, so they know what's going on. I think that's a great idea to say that you have this in your area.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Very, very quick, Madam Chair. Thank you. Just for everybody's edification, public, the press, and all of us, can you list the names of the people on the Riverboat Committee?
Well,
they're listed.
They are listed. They are listed.
I.S. Berman. Yeah.
Strathman and Leonard.
Strathman,
They're on the website.
Leonard.
Thank you.
And to just direct the board for questions on the governance of the Riverboat Committee. Documents were sent to you last week And then another document was also sent to you more recently. So you have one document which is from 93 and 95, 1993 and 1995, which actually establishes the Riverboat Committee. An update was just released to you, sent to you a couple of days ago from 2023. Thank you. Yes, yes. No, it was later than that. 25, okay. Yeah. So that was just recently sent to you as well. So I would suggest that you take a look at those, and those will be your baseline for communication on what the actual charge of this committee does and how the money is to be used, both historical and a revision on it. Okay, so we're all on the same page with that. Okay, with no further discussion, please call the roll.
Allen,
Aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman. Mr. Berman,
Yes, Berman.
Doherty,
Berman, yes.
Garcia, Gripe,
Right, yes.
Gums,
Yes, but I think we missed Doherty.
Mr. Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Zuby, Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Hunter, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis abstain.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessus,
Hennessus, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surgis, Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepi,
Steffi, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
passes, one abstain.
Very good, Mayor. Please have a motion and a second to discuss and potentially pass item number 25-228.
Strathman will move.
Tarver seconds.
Thank you both. Mr. Surgis, you brought this forward.
As stated in the executive session, I just think that when we have a hiring freeze and a freeze on raises, and we're going in.
Microphone, please.
When we have a hiring freeze and a freeze on raises, and we're going into a financial crisis, that giving out these salary adjustments at this time is just not appropriate, and I'll be voting no.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Are there any other comments on this? Seeing none online, clerk call the roll.
Allen,
Allen, aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman, Doherty,
Berman, yes.
Doherty, yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Gripe, no.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, no.
Zuby, Caius,
Guys, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessus,
Hennessus, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
No.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepi,
Steffi, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
passes, 3 noes.
Okay, very good. All right, could I have a motion and a second to discuss and possibly pass item number 25-259?
Steffi moves.
Thank you, Mr. Teddy.
Leonard will second.
Thank you, Bill. All right, discussion on this item. Yes, Ms. Chuby.
So I appreciate that everyone allowed us to cut this down to a 1 year instead of an in perpetuity, so that we could actually see what was happening, if it did what we thought it would do. But I also understand that the work group was going to be working on some of their proposed cuts. And I'm just kind of not comfortable taking this money away without knowing what that other half looks like. So when will we be learning what they discussed in the work group?
I believe that's going to be happening at the Finance Committee, but I will turn that over to Mr. Tepe.
Thank you for the question. Yes, Madam Chair, the work group met yesterday. We are going to be meeting next Monday. We will have several alternatives available to be presented to the Finance Committee. I think Mr. Leonard and I feel very confident that we can provide that 3 alternatives that that will be associated with the funding and the budgeting side of it, now that all of the budgets have been put into the system.
May I ask a follow-up?
Absolutely.
So would it be prudent for us to hold off on this vote until we get that information?
I
Yes.
Yes.
Chair comes.
Oh,
um
hold on, please, Ms. Gums.
Then we change.
I didn't want to make
I
the
hadn't
motion without.
hadn't looked at it from that point, so I was kind of stalling to think it through.
You want to get back to us?
But no, I want to give you an answer. I would think that it's something that could be revisited quite easily and may very well be revisited. So I don't think that this vote will be of extreme importance. Something will have to be done with this, depending upon the alternatives that we present to you. So
So would you
hopefully-
like, would you like to?
I'm
put
stumbling
together-
along here.
Okay,
Mr. Leonard,
well,
do you
before,
agree,
before we
Mr.
ask for a
Leonard?
motion,
I didn't want to cut discussion off before I threw out there a motion to postpone because I think that's really unfair to people that actually want to say things. However, when everyone's done talking, I will be making a motion. To
that's what I was
postpone.
going to ask you.
Second.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Okay,
Chair.
before motions and seconds, we've got two people who would like to discuss this, and why don't we talk to him, Mr. Leonard?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Mr. Tepe suggested, this is a suggestion from our working committee. However, as Mr. Tepe also said, we're going to have three options available at the Finance Committee meeting later on this month. And I think in all three of those options, either this type of a reallocation or a different reallocation will be included in all three. So at that point, I guess we have the opportunity to vote on which one we like the best. So I guess at this point, if Ms. Juby would like to postpone this, I have no problem with that.
Okay, we have, okay.
If there
we
was a
have-
motion to
excuse me.
table, I would vote for it.
All right, hold on a second, sir. Yes, Ms. Bates.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe this is a classic chicken and the egg problem. We are waiting to reallocate RTA funds until we find out what cuts the departments are planning to make. I believe the departments are waiting to decide what cuts they have to make until they know if the RTA allocation has been reallocated. So I think I will vote against postponing this. I think that's kicking the can down the road, another trite saying, but I think somebody has to start making some decisions. And I think this is one that's ripe for the picking, another trite saying. But I will vote against postponing. I want to make this decision now.
All right, so there is a potential motion that's going to be made. Is there any other further discussion on this, Ms. Gums?
I just have a quick question for clarification. So the three alternatives that were discussed and will be brought forward to finance, those include some sort of reallocation of this RTA. All three of those will affect this and they're not prepared yet.
That's correct.
Okay, so I will support postponement if we're gonna get there eventually, but they all, I mean, I'd like to see all three of them. I wasn't aware.
Is there anybody else who has any comment? Before I ask for your motion, ma'am, I would just like to commend the leadership that is being presented by Mr. Tepe and Mr. Leonard and related staff who have been working diligently on this to bring these proposals to you. I'd like to thank both of you for stewarding this. They're doing their absolute best, and they will be bringing it forward then to finance. So Ms. Juby?
I would like
please.
to make a motion to postpone resolution 25-259 until the next full county board meeting in August.
Very good. And I believe Ms. Strathman seconds. With no further discussion, clerk, would you call the roll?
For the postponement of 25-259, we have Allen,
Allen, aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, no.
Berman. Mr. Berman? I'm sorry, was that a no?
No.
Okay. Doherty,
Doherty, aye.
Garcia,
Garcia, I.
Gripe,
Gripe, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Tyus,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Hennessis,
Hennessis, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surgis,
Yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Pepe,
Tepe, yes.
Williams,
Williams, no.
passes 2 noes.
3,
3.
3 noes.
3, my apologies.
That it will be postponed until next month. And looking forward to hearing the report in the Finance Committee meeting. May I have a motion and a second to discuss and potentially pass ordinance number 25-217?
Linder moves.
Thank you, Mr. Linder.
second.
Thank you, Ms. Gums. Is there any discussion on this? Yes, Mr. Iqbal.
Madam Chair, I will oppose this consolidation of two co-chairs to one chair. I think the intent was to have 2 co-chairs, one from each party, so that we can approach our legislator better. And that's in spirit has not been followed since I have been on the board. And I believe we should give that chance so we can better serve our constituents.
Okay, thank you.
This is nothing to, not to say that our legislators are biased. They will listen more to their own party, but sometimes it is true.
Any other comments on this? I am aware that our current lobbying firm does have equity with that representation, that there is 2 lobbyists who actively work on the State House. One advocates on Democratic side, the other one has a close relationship with the Republican side, and sometimes they absolutely intertwine and change places. But they do have very strong, and that's a wonderful thing. But they do have very strong relationships, isn't that correct, Ms. Gums, with those 2 parties? So whether or not we are having a single or a dual chair on this role, the spirit of what you mentioned is indeed happening down in Springfield. And that I absolutely am aware of. Mr. Linder?
Yeah, this is second reading on this, so we should vote on it today. The only functional change is that right now, every committee gets to put their chair on executive. And this committee, which has no budget at all, which is a new committee, has 2 people on executive, and there's no reason for that. There's no rhyme or reason that there should be 2 people from executive from legislative on the executive committee. So that's the major change. Instead of having 2 co-chairs, you're going to have a chair and a vice chair. It's not going to be a functional change. It changes the representation on exec.
Mr. Sanchez?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And also, as somebody who has served as a co-chair on a committee, there is another issue of not authority, but if a decision needs to be made and you have 2 co-chairs of equal power essentially, and they disagree, we have no process to resolve those disputes. So that's just another angle, another reason why I'm not in favor of having co-chairs.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gums?
I would just like to, I will be supporting this. I think, to your point, Mr. Iqbal, not only in Springfield do we have advocates on both sides of the aisle, but also in Washington. We have a deep bench in Washington too with our lobbyist team on both sides of the aisle. And then throughout the committee, we do have, as you all know on the committee, we speak across the aisle all the time. And I appreciate that. So I will be supporting this.
I don't think that your committee has an aisle.
Well,
it has a pass.
Chair.
No, no.
No chair.
But I think it's pretty apolitical. From what
Yes,
I know.
I agree.
Yeah. So I think we're ready to take that vote. And this is on ordinance 25-217.
And this will be the final vote.
Correct.
Allen,
Allen, aye.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman, Mr. Berman, Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Gripe, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, no.
Juby,
Chuby, I.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Penesis,
Hennessy, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepi,
Zepi, yes.
Williams. Passes with 1 no. Mr. Berman?
Berman, yes.
Okay. Passes 1 no.
Okay, very good. All right, may I please have a motion and a second to discuss and potentially pass item number 25-260?
Ms. Moose?
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. Discussion on this item? And I see none. I see none online. Clerk, call the roll.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Chuby, I.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Penesis,
Hennessy, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Just yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepi,
Zepi, yes.
Williams. Passes.
All right, very good. May I please have a motion and a second to discuss and potentially pass item number 25-261? Thank you, Ms. Gomes. Second.
Gripe, second.
Who's Mr. Gripe? Thank you very much. Is there any discussion on this?
Madam Chair, Williams,
Yes, Mr. Williams.
I would move to amend the resolution by adding at the end of the now therefore, the very bottom, page 1, the following language after hereto. And any other documents required to effectuate the partial release of the mortgage.
Gums will second.
Righty. Okay, there it is. Okay, so you have a motion to amend and we have it second. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, let's go back to the original amendment. Is there any discussion on this amendment as the resolution as amended? Seeing none, clerk, call the roll.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman, Mr.
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, aye.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe,
Yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Chuby, I.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Linder,
Yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Penesis,
Hennessy, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surges, Tarver,
Question, we're voting on the amendment, correct?
It's, yeah, yes, yes, thank you.
Yes.
Tepi,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
amendment passes.
Okay, so now we're done. Did
We have to vote on the underlying resolution
we voted in the resolution, correct?
amended.
As amended, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you. Thought that was the case. All right, that concludes the vote on our resolutions.
Oh,
If-
We
Oh,
have,
as amended.
Amendment.
Let's, the next step. All right, there we go. All right, with no further discussion, let's bring this home. Call the roll, please.
Allen,
Allen, I.
Arroyo, Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gripe, Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Juby,
Chuby, I.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Penesis,
Hennessy, yes.
Roth,
Roth, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges,
Yes.
Tarver,
Tarver, yes.
Tepi,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
passes.
Righty. Okay, I feel like we're in the Cubs and the Nines. At home. All right, is there any new and unfinished business? See none. All righty. Are there any committee updates? Yes.
This is Caius, and this is not my committee, but on development, we have a code violation team and a code enforcement team. And the other people violate, we enforce. Say,
Good
anytime past noon, man, without some real food. We went out this last week with Officer Santiago, John Mall, and staff, and did a sweep, a spring cleanup of the Lake Marion unincorporated area, and which was very satisfying. Deputy Santiago was the lead on this in identifying violations, and the team approached it very, very professionally, and we were able to reach a number of people and also begin proceeding on cleaning up violations, which has been a perennial problem in that area. And I want to just commend that department with Mark Van Kerkhoff having that and John Mall who directs it.
Very good. Thank you. Is there anybody else? Mr. Surges.
For Human Services tomorrow, I just want to remind everybody that we do have committee, and I know it's the heat of summer, but we do need a quorum to get certain things done. And one of the items that we will be discussing tomorrow, just briefly, while we made notion at executive that one of the cost saving measures available to us is to shop our health insurance, whether that's palatable or unpalatable, there are things within that health insurance that can be shopped that do make significant differences. In this particular case, while America and our country, beautiful country, is interested in weight loss and all these new weight loss drugs that are available, we are paying in excess of $500,000 for those drugs here. And there's going to be some conversation tomorrow regarding should we be continuing to do that for just weight loss, or should they be isolated to diabetes as a culture within? I'm going to bring this back to U24 for a vote at some point, saying, how do we feel about that? Where should we be? Nice to have if you're not in a budget crisis, yet on the other hand, if you are in a budget crisis, maybe, that's one of the things where you draw the line. But if anybody would like to participate in that conversation, they're always lively and robust, and we'd love to have you. So members of the committee, see you in the morning, but I need quorum.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else? I updated the executive committee, and I just want to share the same good news with the full board. This is regarding the workforce board, the workforce initiative. Several weeks ago, we made some incredible gains, and we passed some key benchmarks. Not only did we pass them, we exceeded them, which means we are now in almost perfectly good standing with the state of Illinois, which is a welcomed big turnaround in a very short period of time. The other item, you've heard us talk about these job search kiosks. They're in-house. They have arrived. So we'll be deploying those shortly. I would like to encourage this board, if you have a site you would like for us to consider, there'll be 7 deployed throughout Kane County. If you could contact myself and of course Anita, so we can put together our list for the workforce board's consideration. You mentioned local, what your districts need. So this is certainly one way that you can assist your district with making a suggestion of where these 7 kiosks should go. The other kiosks will be deployed into Kendall County and to DeKalb, and we'll have one that will float depending on where we find the greater need. I know DeKalb probably has more, a little bit greater need for an extra one, but we'll determine that. So we'll put one on hold to make that determination. So please, this is something we want to get out quickly. So if you have a place in your district that you feel would be a great asset to your workforce development, please let us know as quickly as you can. So because we'd like to get these out post haste, since we've got them, we've been waiting for them for a while. So that concludes that, Ms. Gumbs.
I do have, just to remind everybody to come to the legislative committee next week, 16th. Is that the date? Our team will be doing a kind of review and then what's expected in the future. And then we're gonna go over some of the things that may affect us with the HR1 bill, which I don't really care for, FYI. And then on Thursday, I'll be going to Philadelphia to represent Kane County with NACO. Thank you very much for allowing me to go. And I'll give you a report, not when I get back, but after that.
Very good. We look forward to hearing it at the next board meeting. All right, anything else? Okay. Moment you've all been looking forward to.
Also make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
Godspeed all.
Aye.
Okay.